right now. It's interesting that both these teams is not putting heavy priority on the Jin. After the massive nerfs that he received on patch 4.2a, it's kind of understandable, but it's still something that I'm expecting to show up at least one of the games moving forward.
Please. I mean, they are not showing their hands in terms of ADCs at the moment either. There are still, a lot of choices. I'm still praying for the day that we see a Twitch or a Samira come out, but, it's wishful thinking on my side. Though, it's still going to be
Sana.
Maybe a 6, maybe a Senna here. Luna liking to cling to the old AD meta, or where, old bot lane meta where it wasn't, all ADCs, but again, this Corki could be a big bait.
And this is pretty much the same 3 picks that KT.RY did use, during game number 1. The good thing for NAOS though is that they are on the red side. So at least finally, reserving a particular pick for their red pick 5 would allow them to at least have a good read as to where all the champions are going to go for KT.RY's side. So whatever cheese they did during game number 1, they won't be able to do it again in this game number 2. NAOS is going to pick up something for Calm that is very, very reliable, and that is definitely going to be the Jax. So this Wukong will definitely go to the hands of Xiaopi.
Yeah, now Xiaopi, he does need to be very, very careful and very proactive with this Wukong, because it is not a champion that, like those Kazakhs, is super, super chasing the damage. But at the same time, this, because Calm is only playing, the Jax, he has to be really careful about not getting gapped in the early game, because that is a Renekton. Now Xiaopi, man, a lot is on his shoulders now, because he's basically going to be the main engage for NAOS eSports here, unless of course Ray picks out the Nautilus, and then he wants, or maybe an Alistar as well, if he wants to be really proactive on those support engages.
Yeah, but NAOS is now able to read into something that I kind of wanted them to do during game number 1, and that is to ban away the Kazakh. So Daw would be forced to use something else. But just going over this matchup between Jax and Renekton, this is a particular matchup that I'm very familiar with, because I'm one-tricking Renekton off late, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? Like, Jax does actually have a winning matchup against the Renekton top side. The numbers are just as long as you won't be able to kill the Jax is winning, right? The longer the game goes. And plus the amount of health and defenses that Jax does have on the top side, I'm actually seeing that the Jax is a very favorable matchup against the Renekton, at least in this particular patch. Now, you did say that there is a need for an engager on NAOS side, and they will be going back to that Nautilus. KT.RY will be responding with the Alistar. So same 4 picks as we have seen from just a while ago, and the only difference is that they will have a different jungler. That is because Kazakhs has been banned away.
Yeah, and with that is going to be basically the same composition that KT.RY ran in the last game, and we saw what happened in the last game. Now it's just got absolutely blasted, especially in those mid-game fights, and in that last last team fight where NAOS was the one to initiate. Now, I want to see what Mirmo has up his sleeve. The Jin has been banned out as well, so basically his entire pool. Yo, Ezreal, I love it. Let's go. This is gonna be a skill display from one of the best ADCs in the country of the Philippines right now.
Yeah, I remember a game in where he topped the 40% damage share threshold on the Ezreal. Those were one of the previous games that I really noted Mirmo on this champion. But one thing to say is that Ezreal takes time before he can really scale up. If anything, you have to be able to really launder almost everything in your arsenal to be able to deal enough damage, because we have to remember, outside of the Essence Reaver, items were not really that favorable to the Ezreal in patch 4.2a. We know that Immortal Shield Bow is a very good item now, Collector even, but those 2 items are not Ezreal item. So this is definitely still, the pre-patch 4.2 Ezreal. And so it really comes down as to how impactful those skill shots are from Mirmo. If he's able to land those onto primary targets, then yes, I see them an angle in winning.
Yeah, so with that being said, NAOS eSports, can they leverage that Ezreal to really go hard here? Because they will need to if they want a chance against KT.RY. Now, let's get into this game. They have swapped sides, so there is at least a little bit of a change there. But for the most part, it is going to be pretty much the same here.
Yeah, but the best thing that you could ask for if you're NAOS eSports is now Jace has a favorable matchup in the mid lane, right? Jace has the burst to really make sure that the Gragas won't have an easy time in the mid lane. Oftentimes we see, the Jace being paired against a Lucian and a Corki, and Gragas is definitely not within the same caliber of a champion and, laning wise. So laning now does actually have a very good laning phase, top to bottom, because even this Ezreal is a very good laner.
True. But again, with the Jax, Calm really has to be, very calm.
Just be mindful.
Protective, of himself, because if he gets gapped by with the Renekton, then it gets so much harder for him to become relevant in the late game team fights.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that you have to do as a Jax is to make sure that those counter strikes will be able to dodge those Rootless Predator. If you're able to do that, then things would go your way. And this is one way to really put Calm in a pinch, and that is to send the support. It's never going to be a 1v1 in the Baron lane, as we all know in WRLA. It's definitely going to be a 2v2. As we look into Wraith being here, a 2v2 between the Alistar, and of course the pairing with the Nautilus, it's fairly even. Unless, you will see a Lee Sin to gank topside, which Daw has the opportunity to do so, because you look at his path and he is near the topside.
Yeah, he does have an opportunity, but this early in the game, at level 4, I don't think is the right time.
True.
When he does get the Dragon's Rage, he's going to be a lot more effective of a ganker, but he could go for something surprising right here.
Okay.
Wraith gonna get a little bit bullied there, though he did win that trade somehow against Rattel.
Yeah, well, Aftershock plus possibly Perseverance would allow you enough resistance against the Renekton. I really think the Renekton early game is very dependent on landing an Enrage with a Predator, but there is a potential dive on the top side. As we know, Daw is level 5, so there could be a potential kick happening right now.
They can. There could be a big play going out there. But yeah, as you said, the Renekton damage is pretty reliant on some really key things to happen. He does need to get an Enrage done, or he needs a Dominus to get into that engage range. Now Mitsura, he's gonna get thrown back with explosive cast, but no body slam. If that body slam hit, I'm 100% confident that Doe would have gone in.
Yeah,
like,
for
no
sure.
matter what.
Yeah, Flash, Sonic Wave, ending it all with the Dragon's Rage as well. We all know that Lee Sin is the best early game jungler damage-wise. And so, at least in the first few minutes, without having to invest a Flash, that was actually a win. Oh! That's a steal.
Yeah, the Sonic Wave, that's not a steal actually. Saupi is able to claim his blue buff. So yeah, at least like an attempt there. Very, very aggressive start here again from KT.RY.
It is expected, and it is very much needed. You look at the scaling composition of everything. I do believe that NAOS does have the one-up scaling-wise. They have the Jax, they have the Ezreal, and plus Jace is not really the best late game champion, but against a Gragas, it's pretty much still a very respectable one. But plus the fact that they can go ultra pokes before.
Mirmo, he's incredibly low. Doe is looking for it, but on the other side of the map now, eSports gonna go for a big engage here. There's a depth charge. A Dredge line will miss because of the flash. Oh, Mizaupi not able to affect the map that way, but Mirmo knew that because that was the play there, he had to back away quickly.
Yep, but bigger winner is Luna and Daw being able to get 2 plates here in the bot lane. That's a total of 300 gold, maybe even getting another plate for themselves. Meanwhile, Mirmo was forced to back away. And so tempo-wise, still, an advantage for KT.RY, similar to what happened during game number 1.
Yeah, 100%. It is a big swing of well, not as big of a swing, but it is still a lot of a lot of pressure on that bot lane, a lot of pressure onto Miumo to just back away in order to survive.
That's 600 gold up to the side of Luna. So it may not look like a big swing for now.
Yeah.
But we all know that Luna is able to swing that 600 gold lead into something bigger. That has been the MO for KT.RY. 5 minutes in, we do have 2 objectives spawn up. And yeah, no surprises here. NAOS does prefer the scaling side of things. They will prioritize the Ice Dragon. Meanwhile, KT.RY wants to go for tempo.
Oh, yeah, as they are trying to get a gank on the bomb, and they are committing so much onto it as Nomel is going to be coming in. The package as well from Luna. 4 members of KT.RY are up there. And that does mean that the Dragon will be taken for free here as well as perhaps, as the Essence coming through, Ezreal, True Shot Barrage, sorry, will not dissuade them from getting on that tower, but it's still a first tower for NAOS eSports in the bot lane.
If anything, the positive is that Mitsuru and company was able to get a tower here in the bot lane without having to use the Rift Herald. But KT.RY will be able to respond at the top side, so that's full plates top side, almost full plates bot lane. So yeah, even though the Rift Herald did actually go over to KT.RY, NAOS was able to at least mitigate the damage done by getting themselves the first tower. That is on the bot lane. And, you know, gifting the gold total over to Mitsuru should catapult him to at least be a little bit advantageous in the upcoming team fights. We all know that Chase 1-2 items, very scary. These are the few champions that will be able to really deal a heavy amount of damage even with just 2 items.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He is very formidable, especially when it comes to that mid game when he has pretty much gotten a huge spike in terms of damage once he gets his 2 items. Now, they are going to find Nomo there. He is going to proto belt out so that he is going to be safe. Yeah, a lot of big attempts here from either side, but nothing really sticking at the moment. Just there's a True Shot Barrage and the Rift Herald gonna be spawned up here for the side of KT.RY, and they are trying to explode, but Shotty's gonna get a charge in. Yeah.
That's a massive win for NAOS, because now their tower in the mid lane is still very much healthy.
It's so healthy. Yeah,
a rare blunder coming from KT.RY. That is hard to do, mind you, because of the recent changes onto Shelly. She's able to charge very fast now, but because of the all-in by now, sending 5 people to defend against that Red Herald, that means that the trade for the Dragon was definitely favorable to NAOS side.
Oh yeah, this is a little bit of an oopsie for KT.RY, most definitely, but are they gonna let it stop them? Probably not. Now, with all that being said, how dangerous is it for KT.RY now to just be around the members of NAOS eSports? Because you see how confident NAOS was just taking the fight to them and attacking Shelly at the same time, so that she wouldn't get a charge off. So you can see that NAOS definitely not deterred, not shaken at all whatsoever.
I don't think they will ever be. Like, we all know that NAOS is that one team that will fight and fight and fight even when they're 10k behind. And so NAOS eSports, again, that fire, that innate aggression to them will definitely be put to test in every single game right now. This is definitely still a favorite game towards KT.RY. We all know that they are the #1 team in APAC with a record of 9-4. Meanwhile, NAOS eSports did not even have a winning record. So definitely there's like, a David versus Goliath matchup between the PH and KR. But at least so far in game number 2, in the first 8 minutes or first 9 minutes, no one is definitely in the lead.
Yeah, not a huge lead, or 0 lead at all, pretty much. They're even though NAOS have not yet gotten a kill. That's because they were able to answer back in a macro way. That accelerated shot blast has found them out, so Nomil, if he was just if they were just a little bit farther up, maybe the accelerated shock blast wouldn't have hit. But that's how it is. Big unfortunate there for NAOS eSports, for KT.RY, but that's still now is playing it incredibly safe.
For sure, and they have to, right? Especially with the new objective or with the dragon spawning up in a couple of seconds. The pro composition by now will be put to test. There's no reason for them to start your dragon, right? All they want to do is to chunk down the members of KT.RY, have them start the objective, and then, you know, be decisive with their follow through. If anything, Zalpi is very decisive in all those engages, and so this is a formation that is kind of expected from NAOS.
But that's what's happening right now. Zalpi is the one who's starting the dragon. They're the ones pressuring KT.RY to respond to them, and the mid lane tower will be taken as well by NAOS eSports. So now they can all focus on this dragon. Nomel is in the middle of it. He's got to go for the head to full rise onto Mitsura, but that doesn't really do anything. Wraith though incredibly low. Calm from the back. He's gonna be jumping onto Luna and gets exhausted immediately. He's gonna get hit pulverized and then headbutted away.
Okay.
The Ezreal though, Mirmo with the first kill of the team fight. He is still alive, but barely breathing at the moment. Zalpi misses the Cyclone. The Dragon has been stopped, and NAOS, they come out with a win in that team fight.
True, that is now displaying their patience, right? This is definitely something that we saw from NAOS time and time again. This is the evolution from on their side. I know that KT.RY did actually evolve themselves, but NAOS, you know, the same thing can be said for them, right? They're not going to pull the trigger right away. We'll look into as to how Calm really played that one out. He was just waiting for the perfect moment to go into Luna. Plus that flash from Wraith did actually at least dissuade that kill attempt onto him, and this kill by Mirmo. We have to remember that Mirmo is that one player that is not afraid to go in on the Ezreal. That is definitely a side that we will, you know, be seeing. Be it a win or be it a lose, Mirmo will just go in.
Yeah, all the time. He is a very aggressive player, but his aggression is calculated, right? Because he is on that Ezreal. He can't just be in the middle of the fray all the time, and he has tools to get himself out, keep himself safe with the essence shift and his flash pretty much as well. So Mirmo, his positioning was not the greatest in that one fight in particular, but I feel like as we go on, he will have, you know, a lot more to say, a lot more opportunities to have a better position here.
For sure. The game is now going to enter a lull state because KT.RY just knows that NAOS eSports is also capable in playing the patience game. I mean, you look at the kill count right now. It's 1-1, G10. And that just goes to show that, you know, neither of the teams really want to go over aggressive. Nomel did try, but that was, you know, an engage that is so far away. Oh,
that is another engage. Could have been so far away, but it is going to be here. He's dead. He's gone. There is no more top laner here, and the rest of KT.RY are on the back foot. Now it's taking an opportunity and just running with it. You give them an inch, they take a mile, and they're in your jungle now.
Patience game still being displayed fully here by now. It's no need to overextend, no need to be greedy whatsoever. But that's a very good punish against Rattel. I don't think he had a stasis because, you know, not quite the same with game number 1. Rattel did not have the full plates onto him in this game, and so that 1,000 gold is definitely very expensive of an investment for a Renekton. So what NAOS did there was to at least catapult that kill into another objective win, and that is the tower on the top side. But NAOS needs to be very careful, especially here in the mid lane, because this tower is very vulnerable.
Yeah, it is vulnerable, and they are doing their best to protect it, and they are doing it. It's going to stay protected there. KT.RY will not be able to take it down just now. As NAOS, they actually have a pretty decent sized lead, 2,000 gold at the moment. And with Calm being, well, very calm and not getting gapped in the top lane, he becomes so much more effective in these big team fights now, because he's just, you know, he is a Jax that can exist and can deal the damage.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you cannot really approach him as a Renekton. With 2 items already completed, enough HP, enough damage potential coming from Calm, he can be that one win condition by NAOS eSports if he's able to penetrate through the side lanes and, you know, make things harder for Rattel. We have dubbed, you know, KT.RY as a team that is really piloted ahead by Rattel, but at least in this game, Calm is controlling him very wonderfully.
Yeah, speaking of controlling, there's Nomel with a controlling engage, that proto belt into the headbutt pulverized. Zalpi will be able to get out of there, but he has to use the Cyclone. So yeah, a little ambitious on the side of KT.RY.
Yeah, and if there's anything I kind of want to take away in that particular engage, is that now eSports is very mobile. You know, three members or three champions that they do have has the small dashes that can go over the wall. You have Calm with the Leap Strike, you have the Ezreal, you have the Wukong as well. So without that sticky Singe on the side of KT.RY, how are you able to catch them? Yeah, you have the stun coming from Zero and Ratel, plus the Alistar, but is it really enough if they are able to channel at least those dashes away from you? So now eSports, at least in game number 2, showing signs of life, is putting up a better fight overall.
Yeah, signs of life, a lot of really good plays as
Level
well.
13.
Yeah, a very particular level, a very good decision here, I'd say, from KT.RY to try to be first on the Drake, but now eSports has already gotten themselves there as well. So this is going to be a little bit of a tough engage here for both of them. Who's going to be sucking the Dragon Pit? It is Luna inside. Cobb is going to be coming in from the back. Nobel incredibly low, so he cannot really participate in this fight too much.
Pokes!
Look at the barrage coming in. The accelerated shock blast doing so much work, and there's the death charge finally coming in. And everybody is going to be piling in. Mirmo saves himself from death, and he is going to live, but the rest of them, there is a steal onto the Dragon from KT.RY, but the rest of them will not be able to make it out alive, I don't think, as Doe tries to get in and at least get one kill for their troubles, but he will be denied. All of NAOS eSports survive.
The AD King from the Philippines is now alive and kicking. Mirmo was able to survive with 1 HP and was still able to impact that team fight. Although the Dragon went over to the side of KT.RY, now eSports show some signs of life and they could threaten the Baron real quick. KT.RY, they need to secure the Scuttle Crab for Vision, but I don't think it will deter the members of NAOS eSports to go all in and shred down this Baron.
Definitely not. Definitely not, because they know that only Nomel and Luna are up to fight, so they cannot contest. All 5 members of NAOS eSports, that's going to be the freest Baron that we have seen in the playoffs so far, because it's day 1 of the playoffs, guys.
Oh, for sure, right? Like, and plus it's the second game of the playoffs. Yeah, things will definitely get more explosive as we move forward. But I mean, you look at the pokes. Mitsura landing his pokes, Mirmo as well landing his pokes. Nomel started this team fight with less than half health, and that is definitely one of the biggest things that we have to consider. Mirmo's presence of mind, by the way, is just mind-boggling to me right now. Like, you know, being able to survive 1 HP, plus that last-second Arcane Shift to prevent Daw's assassination to him. I mean, look at this play. Man, outplayed Daw from Korea.
Yeah. A big outplay there. NAOS eSports got to be proud of themselves for that one. Now the question becomes, can NAOS eSports sustain this momentum? Can they bring this game to a close? They do have the Baron up minions. They can start the siege, and they have already taken out the bot lane and the mid lane inhibitor towers. As KT.RY, they really are very hesitant to even try to engage inside their own base. They know that they have to fight for the last stand at the Nexus, because NAOS is just a little bit too powerful right now.
Oh,
Barrage comes through.
Yeah, not hitting anyone though, but this is going to be the last inhibitor tower. The Baron buff is going to expire soon, but it still is good for at least one more wave. With 2 cannon minions, I think this is all she wrote.
Yeah, and that may be it. Although Noble trying to go for a hero play, tries to engage onto 2. He is incredibly tanky because he is the Alistar, just pop that ult. But at the same time, what can they really do now? Because who are they going to engage on? There's a true shot barrage just decimating health bars. Ratel and Luna are out of the fight, but they're not dead. And nobody has
21?
to die here. And actually, NAOS eSports, they almost died there, but they focus on the Nexus and they got the W.
Prior to the third inhibitor